November Rain is more than a rock ballad. It is the beating heart of Guns N' Roses' ambition, the band's longing to blend classical romance with raw Los Angeles grit to create something timeless, something beyond the chaos that defined them. But behind the sweeping orchestras, behind Slash's soaring guitar solos, behind Axl Rose's trembling voice, lies a story of obsession, heartbreak, artistic vision, and a dream that almost destroyed the biggest band in the world. For Axl Rose, November Rain did not begin in the studio. It began long before. Guns N' Roses were icons before the fame, before the arenas, before Sweet Child O' Mine changed everything. In the early 1980s, Axl was fascinated by the idea of merging rock with an almost operatic emotional scale. He wanted to write something grand, something that could sit alongside Elton John, Queen, or even classical compositions. Among his earliest demos was a fragile piano ballad that carried a haunting melody he couldn't let go of. He called it November Rain. Even then, before the world knew his name, Axl believed this song would be his masterpiece. That early version was rough, just Axl and a piano, but he carried it everywhere on cassettes, in notebooks, replaying it endlessly in his mind. Friends recall Axl sitting with his keyboard in the tiny apartment he shared with Izzy Stradlin, playing the skeleton of November Rain over and over, shaping it like a sculptor who couldn't stop polishing the same stone. In Axl's mind, this song wasn't just music, it was destiny. By the late 80s, Guns N' Roses had become the most dangerous band in the world. Their debut album, Appetite for Destruction, exploded into history, turning them into global icons. But Axl wasn't satisfied. While the band celebrated, while the world roared for more wild, unfiltered rock, Axl was thinking symphonically. He wanted to stretch beyond the limits of the genre. He wanted to finish November Rain. Throughout live shows during the Appetite era, Axl would sit at the piano and perform fragments of the evolving piece, often in front of audiences who had no idea they were witnessing the slow birth of a future epic. Slash later admitted that even he didn't fully understand Axl's vision at first. This wasn't the gritty street rock they were known for. This was something massive, dramatic, operatic. But Axl wouldn't let it go. The breakthrough came when Axl discovered a short story called Without You, written by his friend Del James. The story followed a rock star haunted by fame, loneliness, and the collapse of a relationship, carrying an emotional weight that mirrored Axl's own fears. In Without You, a tragic theme anchors the narrative. No matter how much love one has, some emotional winters feel impossible to escape. This story became the emotional DNA of November Rain, and later, the music video that would shape MTV into cinematic territory. When the band entered the studio to create Use Your Illusion High, Axl was finally ready. He had spent nearly a decade shaping the emotions behind the melody, and now he had the budget, the influence, and the artistic firepower to build the song the way it sounded in his mind. Recording November Rain was unlike anything Guns N' Roses had done. Producer Mike Klink watched Axl push every limit, layering pianos, vocals, harmonies, and orchestral arrangements. Most rock bands came to the studio unprepared. Axl arrived with binders of notes and a vision closer to a film director than a frontman. He brought in a 30-piece orchestra, conducted intricate arrangements, and forced the band to adapt to a musical language many had never played before. Slash later said that his guitar solos were written not through theory, but through pure emotion. He visualized wide, open landscapes, the kind of cinematic grandeur that matched Axl's dream. The second solo, the one in the middle of the desert in the music video, was never planned that way. Slash simply walked out of the studio, plugged in, and delivered a soaring cry that lifted the entire composition. It became the soul of the song. But while the music grew, tension grew with it. Guns N' Roses were already drifting apart. Creative disagreements, pressure, substance issues, and Axl's perfectionist demands created a deep divide. Some members felt the original rawness of the band was slipping away. Axl insisted that if the band wanted longevity, they needed evolution. November Rain was not just a song, it was his declaration of what Guns N' Roses could become. When they finally released the song in 1991, the world had never heard a rock ballad at this cinematic scale. Nearly 9 minutes long, with no radio edit, it broke every rule and still became a global hit. But what truly carved November Rain into rock history was its music video, which at the time was one of the most expensive ever produced. Inspired directly by Del James' story, it portrayed a wedding, a love that felt both passionate and doomed, and a tragic ending that left millions of fans questioning what truly happened to the bride. Stephanie C. Moore, Axl's partner at the time, played the bride. The real-life relationship between them added an intensity that made the performance feel painfully authentic. The rain-soaked funeral scene, the sudden emotional collapse, the unanswered questions, everything was designed to create depth. And it succeeded. Fans still debate the video's symbolic meaning decades later. Was it a metaphor for fame? For Axl's fears of losing love? Or was it simply a visual echo of Del James' fictional tragedy? The ambiguity only deepened the legend. But behind the cinematic triumph, the band was fracturing. November Rain represented Axl's highest artistic peak, but also the moment the original Guns N' Roses began to fall apart. Creative control became a battlefield, and the pressure of being the biggest band in the world crushed the fragile unity they once had. Slash would eventually leave. Duff would step away. The original era dissolved. Yet the song lived on. As the years passed, November Rain grew beyond even the band's fame. Its orchestral sweep, its narrative weight, and its emotional vulnerability stood in contrast to the pure chaos that defined Guns N' Roses. It became a reminder that even in a world built on distortion and downtrodden, heartbreak and longing could speak louder than any guitar riff. In 2018, the music video passed 1 billion views, becoming the first video from the 90s to reach that milestone. Generations who never knew the original band found themselves drawn to this epic story of love, loss, and the slow, cold arrival of emotional winter. And today, November Rain stands as Axl Rose's grand masterpiece. A song born from obsession, shaped by heartbreak, fueled by ambition, and completed through sheer will. A 9-minute journey that became the emotional spine of Guns N' Roses, a reminder that even the loudest, wildest rock stars are human, vulnerable, searching for meaning in the middle of the storm. Because in the end, November Rain isn't just a ballad, it's a confession, a warning, a love letter, a tragedy, and a monument to the truth Axl Rose feared most. Some storms you survive, some storms change you forever.